Outside is the all-time largest, and still growing, MMO survival sandbox game out there. It's widely regarded for the complexity of its engine and the idea of true free choice. However, the early days of this game are far gone, and the rapidly evolving meta can be hard for new players to catch on to. This video will show how to play the human class, the easiest class in the game, so we can get adjusted well. Seriously, the humans in this game are almost as powerful as Meta Knight in Smash Bros. Brawl. Almost. Starting with the basic controls, it takes a bit for humans to develop some core gameplay elements, such as walking, no! Talking, and writing.
Just wonder what her Virginia looks like. You know what I'm saying? Up top, yeah.
So you start off as the human subclass, Baby. Now, as a baby, you can't do much, other than giving everyone around you a happiness buff if your needs are met, and a massive stress debuff if they aren't. Or you can just apply the stress debuff whenever you want just to piss people off. Some regard this as both the easiest, yet most boring part of the human class, but just bear through it and you'll be fine. As you move on from a baby to a child, your core gameplay elements come into play, except for the whole walking thing. It's just impossible in an entirely different way. Now, the human's ability that gives them their overpowered stance in the meta is their maxed out intelligence stat, allowing them to access skill and tech trees that no other class can. Not everyone has this ability, but most do. To access these, it takes a lot of training though. The grind can be long and tough, so much so that some just quit to try and have some fun in the short term rather than the long term, but unfortunately, it seems that happiness stays locked either way. This is the biggest struggle of the human class themselves. Since humans dominate the meta so much, the conflict has turned from external to internal. For most, their win condition for outside is simply to find happiness, which is an achievement that, according to the Xbox version, has a very low unlock rate. That might, however, just be because Xbox players are all 9-year-olds and suck at the game, but regardless. In fact, the completionists of the gaming world are often the most to miss this achievement no matter how hard they try. They refuse to accept that the hardest achievement might only be achievable by not trying to do everything, and so they simply can't do it. Not to say that this is an easy task for anyone, however, as happiness seems to be a fleeting stat that nobody knows how to keep. But there are those who keep the meta external, beyond the walls of competition, figuring out how the engine itself works. We would ask the developers, but they don't seem keen on responding. Some believe a massive team of developers worked on this game, some believe this was made by one indie developer as their life's work, and others think there might not be one at all. Several attempts have been made to find this problem out. Many have tried direct messaging them through a method known as prayer. Some have tried to contact players off the Earth server to see if they know anything about it, but so far, both of these have had little to no effect. Some, however, think there is no win condition. Some think that there are no developers. Some think that there are no real goals. And some think that no matter how much of the universe engine we crack into, even if we can access the source code itself, we will always be constrained by it. Yet, paradoxically, this very well might be the way to achieve the goal most have: happiness. Perhaps there are infinite achievements, perhaps there are none. Maybe we should make our own, maybe we shouldn't. That's the nature of the universal sandbox. That's the idea of true free will. And even if you hate this game, at least the connection isn't as bad as Ubisoft servers. See ya.